Alright, part number 2 of the test review for polynomials. Again, I am dividing polynomials, so when I divide, I am subtracting exponents. I'm dividing numbers, but subtracting exponents. So if I'm looking here, I've got 5 divided by 10, that is 1 over 2. X squared divided by x cubed. So subtract your exponents. 3 minus 2 is x to the first power. Now, where does it? It's right here because that is the biggest exponent. So my x to the first power stays in the denominator because 3 is bigger than 2. Here I've got y to the 6th minus, or divided by, y to the first. So 6 minus 1 is 5. Where is it? It's in the numerator because 6 is the bigger exponent. So in the numerator I've got y to the 5th. Number 10, I want to divide this out into separate polynomials. So 10x squared over 5x minus 5x over 5x, and then plus 20 over 5x. So now let's divide. 10 divided by 5 is 2 over 1. X squared divided by x to the first. Subtract your exponents. So I know I have an x to the first. Where is it? It's in the numerator. So 2x to the first. Here I've got 5 divided by 5, that's 1. X divided by x, that's 1, so minus 1. And then plus 20 divided by 5 is 4 over 1. And then I have an x left in the denominator, so 4 over x. Number 8, I want to do the same thing, so divide it out. So 3x squared over 3x plus 12x over 3x plus 15 over 3x. Divide your numbers, those cancel out. X squared divided by x is an x to the first power. That's in the numerator, so it's over 1. Plus 12 divided by 3 is 4. X divided by x cancels out. And then plus 15 divided by 3 is 5. And you have that x in the denominator. Last one, you've got 24a squared b over negative 12ab. And then minus 6ab over negative 12ab. And then plus 12ab squared over negative 12ab. So once again, divide your numbers. 24 divided by negative 12 is a negative 2 over 1. A squared divided by a, subtract your numbers, or subtract your exponents, and we get a to the first. B's cancel out. Negative 6 divided by negative 12 is a positive 1/2, because negative divided by negative is a positive. A's cancel, B's cancel, so positive 1/2. And then you've got minus, because 12 divided by negative 12 is a minus 1, so minus, that cancels to a negative 1. That cancels, and then b squared divided by b is b to the first, so minus b. Alright, moving right along. Okay, we're going to look to factor out the greatest common factor. Alright, so now I'm looking at this first term. There is no variable on the first term. So we know that the greatest common factor can only be a number. So what number is 16 and 8 both divisible by? The greatest number. Both of those are divisible by 8. So when I say factor out, I'm telling you that we are dividing. So we're dividing 16 by 8 and we're left with 2. We divide 8 by 8, those cancel out, and we're left with xy. Same thing here, factor out the GCF. The GCF is 10. All of those have an x. So all of those have the same variable. If they have the same variable, take out the smallest exponent, which in this case the smallest exponent is 1. So I know I'm factoring out a 10x to the first power. Okay, again, when I say factor out, I'm telling you to divide by 10x. 40 divided by 10 is 4. X to the fourth divided by x, so 4 minus 1 is x cubed. Now minus 20 divided by 10 is 2. X squared divided by x is an x to the first. And then minus 10 divided by 10 is 1. X divided by x is 1. All right, last one. I can factor out a z, okay, and I can also factor out a negative because both of those are negative. So my greatest common factor is a negative z. Those both have the same variable of z. So again, when I say factor out, I'm telling you to divide by negative z. Negative divided by negative is a positive. 5. Z squared divided by z, so subtract your exponents. 2 minus 1 is 1, so 5z. And then a negative divided by a negative, once again positive. 6, z divided by z, those cancel out. Number 16, the area of a triangle is a squared minus 2a plus 10, and the height is 2a. Find the length of the base. So once again, we are looking at a word problem. Okay, so we're going to set up our equation, 1/2 base times height. Now we're given the height and the area. So the area is a squared minus 12a plus 10 is equal to 1/2 times the base times the height of 2a. Now we can either go ahead and multiply by 2 on both sides to get rid of this 1/2, or we can just say, what's 1/2 of 2a? Well, 1/2 of 2 is 1, right? So I'm left with just a. So my new equation is that 2 and that 1/2 cancel out, and we have a times b. Now once again, we're looking for the length of the base, so we're looking for b. So we're going to divide by a because those are multiplied together. So inverse operation is to divide. So b equals a squared divided by a is an a to the first power. Negative 12, a divided by a, those cancel, so minus 12. And then plus 10 over a, nothing to do, so plus 10 over a. Alright, it says the volume of a prism is 6x cubed y minus 12x squared y. So volume equals the area of the base times the height. Well, we know the volume, plug it in. We know the area of the base, plug it in. Sorry, that should say times the height, you dummy. So b times h. Area of the base is 2x squared y. Plug it in. Look for h. So here we go. 6x cubed y minus 12x squared y equals area of the base, 2x squared y, times the height. So once again, in order to get h by itself, I need to divide by 2x squared y. That cancels out. So divide by 2x squared y. So I'm going to divide 6 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. X cubed divided by x squared, there's an x to the first. And then my y's cancel out. Minus. Now divide this term by that. So 12 divided by 2 is a negative 6, so you've already got the minus. X squared divided by x squared, those cancel out. Y divided by y, those cancel out. Boom. And the last part, it says to factor completely. So once again, we are looking for factors of a times c, which in this case, 18, a is 1. So 1 times 26. So I'm looking for factors of 26 that add to give me 15. Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. It is 2 and 13. So those are my factors. Set up your parentheses. I know an x goes in both because x times x is the only way to get x squared. I know that if I have a plus sign right here, I'm going to take that sign and put it in both of my parentheses. And then my factors are 2 and 13. Number 19 is not factorable because there are no factors of 100, negative 100, that add to give me negative 20. Number 20, I can do what we call the asterisk method. So set up your asterisk. We know we're looking for a times c, which in this case is 25. So factors of 25 that add to give me a negative 10. We know both of my factors need to be negative because the only way for me to add to get a negative but multiply to get a positive is a negative times a negative. Alright, I'm going to put an A in the top of both of these, so 25 and 25. And then now I'm looking for factors of 25. So factors of 25, A times C, that add to give me 1. Alright, so let's go 1 and 25. Those don't add to give me 1. Or, sorry, I guess I should say subtract to give me 1. Okay. I'm doing this all wrong. I'm sorry, not negative 1, negative 10, you dummy. Okay. Now, why didn't y'all say something, guys? Alright. No duh. Okay. Alright, here we go. So factors of 25, 1 and 25, those don't add to give me negative 10. Alright, but negative 5 and negative 5 do. Negative 5 times negative 5 is a positive 25. Check. Negative 5 plus negative 5 is a negative 10. Check. So I'm going to put a negative 5 here. I'm going to put a negative 5 here. Again, these are the fractions that I care about, right? So take those and reduce those. 25 divided by negative 5 is 5 over negative 1. Same exact thing over here. 25 divided by negative 5 is 5 over negative 1. So my parentheses are 5x minus 1 and 5x minus 1. Number 21 is a difference of 2 cubes. Okay, so I can take what times what to get 49? 7 and 7. What times what gives me y squared? Y and y. 1 is a perfect square also, because 1 times 1 gives me 1. And now I know my signs need to be opposite. There's your answer. Looking at number 22, I'm going to go ahead and do the asterisk method again. So A is equal to 8, B is equal to negative 2. Fill that in. C is equal to negative 3. So I'm looking for factors of negative 24 that subtract, and I'm saying subtract because I have a negative in the back. If I have a negative in the back, it tells me that my signs are going to be opposite. I can go ahead and fill in my 8. So I'm looking for factors of A times C, which in this case is a negative 24, but then add to give me a negative 2. So negative 6 and positive 4. Multiply to give me a negative 24, but add to give me a negative 2. So it doesn't matter which one you put where. Here are your fractions. We're reducing those suckers. So 8 divided by 4, both of those are divisible by 4. That reduces to 2 over 1. And then here we go, 8 divided by 6, both of those are divisible by 2. So that reduces to 4 over negative 3. So those are your fractions. Now, 4, and this second term has to be a negative 3, so that goes right along with the minus sign that I have here. So 4x minus 3. And then the 2x positive 1. Same thing on number 23. I'm going to set up my asterisk. So once again, I'm doing negative 8. Actually, this is a perfect. No, it's not. Okay. So I'm looking for negative 8 times 3, a negative 24. I want to add to get a positive 2. I'm going to put an A in both of these, 3 and 3. Okay, so once again, factors of 24 that add to give me a positive 2. So now we're looking at positive 6 and negative 4. Alright, so once again, here are the fractions that I care about. I want to reduce that, so both of those are divisible by 3. That reduces to 1/2. This does not reduce. So I've got x plus 2, and I've got 3x minus 4. Now, I need this negative 8y squared. I need it to be y squared. Okay, so I need to throw a y on the end of both of those. Same thing, I'm doing the same thing on number 24. So set up your asterisk. A times C is a positive 10. But I want to add to get a negative 11. Fill in your A. So I'm looking for factors of A times C, which is a positive 10, but add to give me a negative 11. So you know both of those have to be negative, because a negative times a negative gives me a positive, but adds to give me a negative. So once again, if that back sign is positive, take that, and both of my factors are going to have that sign. So both of these are going to be a negative and a negative. So let's say negative 10 and negative 1, because those multiply together to give me a positive 10, but add to give me a negative 11. So let's say minus 10 minus 1. And now once again we want to reduce. That does not reduce. This does, into 1 over negative 5. So my two fractions form my two parentheses. So x minus 5, and then 2x minus, okay, and then now once again I need this y squared, so I've got to throw a y on the end of these. Last one, I've got A times C, so I'm trying to get negative 30, but add to get a negative 1. Fill in 6, A. Okay, so once again, factor chart, A times C is negative 30, but I want to add to get a negative 1. And again, if this is a minus sign right here, you know you're going to have different signs. So one's going to be positive, one's going to be a negative. My two factors are negative 6 and a positive 5, because those multiply together to give me a negative 30, but negative 6 plus 5 gives me a negative 1, which is what I want. So again, it does not matter which one you put where. Reduce this fraction, so 6 divided by a negative 6 is a 1 over negative 1, and then take that fraction. Those form my two parentheses, so x minus 1 and 6x plus 5. Thank you for watching.